Hi, I'm John Waterhouse, and welcome to our Summer Prosperity Series review. I'm glad that you're here. And if you've been in the actual physical class, you're familiar from year to year that we often start the class by talking about people that have had increased income. And many people from around the world are in our increased income program. And I have asked those that have some increased income come into them to let us know and tell us the story. And I've actually got several things I want to share with you to begin the class. And although we don't have these individuals standing up and sharing this stuff, they do want you to know, and they've all given me permission to share the information that they've sent to me. Some of them are really quick and some of them are a little detailed, but we're going to go through it right now. So the first one I want to share with you goes like this. Social Security has what's known as the increase related monthly adjustment amount, which is also called the IRMAA, which is money withheld for Medicare Part B and Part D based on income. Since I no longer work and don't have the income I once had, Social Security no longer deducts my IRMAA. My wife and I received a refund checks totaling $3,673, and now together receive $462.80 more each month. Enclosed is a check for $367.30, and expect a $50 more to be in our tithe check each month. In gratitude, David Mark. The next one reads, right after I signed up for the CSL Asheville's Unexpected Income Program, I received a $15 check in the mail from one of the members of a Unity Zoom group I facilitate. I have received $150 so far, and my donation today was for this, plus gratitude for your online teaching. Much love to you and Barbara. And that's from Mary Beth. The next one, I'll just read you the part about the increased income. This says that I'm sending $45, $10 already received unexpected income during my travels to visit my parents, $350 for my dad, $100 for my mom, and $2 on a lottery ticket. With much love and gratitude, Candace. And this is the last one. You're gonna love this one. Hey, John and all, in my heave-ho-ness of clearing clutter, a conversation with my husband went like this. Me, what's up with the bag full of silver coins in the bottom of this drawer over here? Husband, what bag of silver coins in the drawer? Right here in the bottom of this drawer. Husband, what? Where did it come from? Must have been, well, I don't know. Me. Okay. Neither one of us could recall putting that bag in the drawer. We are indeed the only people who live here. I am sending you my 10% tithe today. Love always, Leslie. So those are the kind of things that have got us started on this journey of unexpected income. So what you're going to hear now is information from Barbara and me to just give you a greater sense of how this stuff works. And I hope you enjoy the class and that you get something valuable from it. And I will speak to you again at the end of the class. Enjoy.
Are you ready? Yes! Are you ready to have what you want to have? Yes! Are you ready to buy what you want to buy? Yes! Are you ready to go where you want to go? Yes! Are you ready to do what you want to do? Yes! Are you ready to be who you were meant to be? Yes! Get off your butts and we'll do our freedom together aloud. I will know that God is the source of all supply, and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I am so rich and so full that I have an abundance of money to spare and to share today and equals an action. I think we have both of those things going on. Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready for this to be you this year? Yes. Are you ready to have more money than you ever dreamed possible? Yes. Are you ready to have miracles show up in your life? Yes. We're going to do our treatment for prosperity together aloud. I clearly know that God is the source of all supply and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I am so rich and so full that I have an abundance of money to spare and to share today and always. I know that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. This word which I speak in faith knowing now activates universal law and I accept the results. I bless all that I have now and I bless the increase. I bless all the others in the increased income program of our class and I know that we now prosper together in every way. I give thanks for this good and so it is. Hey, who's got a story to tell? Go, Margot.
Yeah.
Come on up. Is she in the camera here, Judith?
No.
Okay, come on over.
Come on over.
Put your check. More, put your check in the basket and come right here in front of the room.
Last week I got a check from two checks from my insurance company, one for $197 and one for $23.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine started actually 2 weeks ago because I got all excited. I'm like, oh, prosperity class is coming up, so I'm going to start doing my treatment again. And I got all excited, did my treatment the next morning. My boss actually texted me and said, hey, I gave you a $200 raise. And I had 2 bookings for my Airbnb go through. Then after last week, Monday night, I kept doing my treatment before bed and everything, and the next morning I woke up to a $100 love donation for my practitioner work that I've been doing recently.
Mine happened last Monday, and I had gone over to Toyota to get an oil change, and thought, oh, well, I'll just, they've been advertising the big sale, and so I thought, okay, well, I'll just go over and see what the big sale is about. So I went over, and had a nice salesman, and he walked me all around and looked at all these different cars, and then there was one that I really liked. So I said, okay, well, let's go in and talk about it. And so we talked, and they took my car to see, what they would give me for it, and we talked some more, and I was just very pleased with my negotiating skills. And so I bought a new RAV4. And then I went home, and I called up my financial manager and said, okay, well, I bought a new car today, so I need some money. He says, well, how much do you need? I'll pull up your account, and we'll see what we can do, but the market's been really volatile. And so he pulled my account and said, oh, that's just what your account increased today.
So I've been paying into a short-term disability plan at work for 17 years, and I'm reaping the benefits of that on a weekly basis. In addition to my income, I'm getting paid because of all the hours I had while I've been out, $1,000 a week. I may just stay out longer than the than 12 weeks.
Well, let's see. Lots of things have been happening. It was probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and I decided, you know, Barbara had been giving, I've been hearing about tithing, and something clicked with me, and I said, I'm just going to go for this. I don't know. I don't have the money, at least I don't think I have the money, but I don't care. At this point, I'm just going there. And so every Sunday, I've been getting out my checkbook, and I go to write this big check, and I can hear the voice in the back of my head saying, "You do not have that money." And I just write the damn check anyway, and I just put it back. So anyway, lots of stuff has been happening, but one thing I want to share tonight is that I finished studying for 3.5 months for this very, very difficult certification exam for one of my careers. And after passing and getting this great certification, I shared that on Facebook, and I came to class, or came to the center, and Barbara said, "Congratulations on this great achievement. So you are going to get paid more now, right?" And I hadn't even thought of that. And so I all of a sudden said, "Yeah, I am." So the next day I went into my boss and talked about it, and she is doing the rubric cube as we speak and going to be giving me a raise. So.
Yay. Who else? Cash in the hand, increased income this week.
CSL sent me $400, Adam.
Hey, anybody else? Well, I have one. I went out to the mailbox on Saturday, and there was a lovely note to me with a check in it for $100. Here's my tithe. Yay! Anybody else? I don't want to shortchange anybody.
So the book is called The 20 Secrets of Success. And thing which is on. You know what? It won't work unless you plug it in. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So many lessons. Success. The constant pursuit of meaningful life. That's what I say success is. What the definition of it is in the dictionary, and what a lot of people say, is that it's an accomplishment of a goal, that it's the attainment of prosperity. Those are nice, but I know too many people that have gotten their goals met or attained wealth, and then their lives went weird. It's like they got depressed. Like it wasn't working right. And so what happened? It all fell apart. And when all of the employees and the property and all of the assets of the company dwindled back down, and it's just that one person who had that great vision and that great delight of building some kind of an enterprise was by himself or herself, what are they going to do? Start over. Maybe do something a little different, but start over. And find success. And it's amazing how many people that have been millionaires and then lost it become millionaires again. It's like they figured out how to do it, they just didn't hold the course. So I'm suggesting for us for this next 6 weeks that success is that constant pursuit of a meaningful life. And as soon as you're doing that, you're being successful. That makes your life successful. You don't become successful when you hit a mark. That's a mark, that's a point, that's a level of achievement, but that's not it. You were successful when you were getting there, and you'll be successful afterwards when you continue that pursuit of a meaningful life. So we all have it in us to be successful. Nobody falls short on that. Nobody here has anything less than the ability to be successful. I love that people out in the world think this is a prosperity church. I want them to think that. I want them to see us that way. And I want us to live that kind of life. And I think more and more that's what we're doing. At least from all the stories I'm hearing, that's what we're doing. We're paying off debt. We're increasing our assets. We're finding new lines of income, ways to create the things that we want to do. And we're doing really brilliant undertakings. We're finding, I looked at you, Jan, going out into nature and finding these gnarly little pieces of wood and finding in them beauty. Giving them a name, putting them on the table and having someone go, oh, I want that, and paying good money for it. You remind me a little bit of one of the people that I hold in high esteem in my life, and that was the creator of the pet rock. What an idea. What a marketing idea. Put a round rock in a box with a little hay or something and sell it at Neiman Marcus for $300. It's brilliant. With instructions for care. Of course, you got to include that in it. There are so many ways for us to achieve the outcomes that we desire in our lives. We are unlimited. The only thing that limits us is our sense of ourselves. Also, there's this idea that there's some opposite of success. What do you think the opposite of success is?
Failure.
Everybody thinks that failure is the opposite of success. I disagree. Because truly, I can't find failure in the world. I know a lot of people talk about it, a lot of people write about it, a lot of people think about it. But I'm not going there. I'm not going to play failure. That's not going to work for me. To me, the opposite of success is resistance. You know, it's just when we find everything else to do with that thing that will satisfy us. When we spend all of our time dealing with papers, shuffling papers, putting them in files, I do that. Instead of doing the thing that's going to bring us that great sense of accomplishment. Now, if we're seeking that thing and we don't have it yet, I believe we're already successful because we're focused on it, we're acting on it. There's a tension between where we are and where we want to be. And when we pull against that tension and then give to it and move with it, that thing that we are calling the thing we want in our lives, our great desire, our great dream, it's coming toward us as much as we're coming toward it. That's success. That's what we're looking for. Holmes said just a little bit of increase of improvement every day is all you need to make this work. And I believe that if you're doing that, you're being successful. Why hold off on celebrating who we are and knowing who we are till we've reached some mark in income or assets or the acquirement of some outcome? Why do we have to wait for that? We don't. We don't. We can be successful right now. And every day do a little something to move a little closer to it. We can all do that. Because if we buy this idea of failure, we'll end up underwater. And then we'll change our sense of ourselves enough to think that that's who we are. That is not who we are. We are something much, much greater than that. So our work for the next 6 weeks, and 6 weeks is an interesting amount of time because it's 50 days. Nice big round number, 50 days. It's 6 weeks plus that 1 day to get back to a Monday, 50 days. So you got 50 days to be constant and consistent in being successful in your life. That's your work. And of course, we're going to go through these principles over the next few weeks and look at how to apply them, the ones that Fenwick's giving us. But there's some work to even get ready for that. And that's where we are today. So, what is the iconic symbol of success? Let's see. Yep, it would be money. And this money thing is very misunderstood by people. You know that cash like that is the least part of the wealth of the world.
Yep.
And the way that they count the gross national product of a country, including this one, is that I have money and I buy something from Sherry, and Sherry gives me the thing or service or product, and she takes that money and she goes and she buys some service or product and she spends that money, and on it goes. And every time there's a sale, there's an exchange, that money gets counted as money in the economy. Yeah. The cash is not a big part of it. So don't think that your cash is what's guiding you. But symbol, a check doesn't have the same ooh as cash does. So we look at that and figure out how to have a relationship with this idea of money. Fenwick gives us some great stuff here. On page 8 he says, "It is any wonder that the world is interested in money, eager to learn the secret of the acquisition of wealth. And why should we assume that it is wrong for the spiritually minded to inquire into it? Is all money tainted? Is money tainted? No. Have you had thoughts in your life, though, that maybe it is? Maybe just little thoughts, not big thoughts.
No.
Just little thoughts. It's a quarter. Those of you that are having a reaction to that have a hidden belief that money is dirty. You do. You just went, oh. So, oh, well, that doesn't affect how I feel about money. Well, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I don't think it really matters, because now I want all of you to pull out a quarter and put it in your mouth. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. But I wanted you to get that sense. Those of you that had a reaction, you don't have to admit it. Just, you know it if you did. If you had a reaction to that, think about how you feel about money. You don't know where that's been. I don't know many people that put, coins up their butt, so it doesn't really concern me that much. The idea you work with is, how are you relating to money? How are you relating to money? All money. Do you find value in it? Yes. Okay, so what's this thing where we yearn for more money, or we go through all this that we don't have enough money in our lives? That's what we do. We go, if I just had X number of dollars, I could do this thing. I don't know how to do that. I don't know what to do. And you get lost in that, and that starts to feel like failure. But there's not a one of you that's failing or that is limited by that, because money is a creation. It's simply a creation. We use it to count. That's all we do. We create, it's the thing that we buy with it that has the value. I've always had this weird thing. So many people have this idea they want $1 million. But they don't want to keep $1 million. They want to use the $1 million to buy stuff. So they really don't want $1 million. Because as soon as they get it and spend the first amount of it on whatever it is, they don't have $1 million anymore. So it's not real. It's made up. It's a false focus. The focus is on being successful. The focus is on creating the life of your dreams. The focus oftentimes needs to be is, what value are you bringing to the world? That's where we're doing something productive. What are we bringing to the world? And most stuff that we bring to the world, unless we happen to be working as a nonprofit, brings a return. Yes, there are volunteer positions that do not directly pay you, but there are lots of things in the world that are affected when you bring yourself and your gifts to the world. And you're compensated for it, either directly or indirectly. That's a constant aspect of life, is that there is a dynamic flow. It's a spiritual thing, but it's about money. It's about money, so that if your focus is, I am successful, I have what I need to make my life work, what comes out of that is a result that reflects that. And it's not that you just sit in the corner and do affirmations. You can do affirmations and things will happen. I will not tell you that's not true. It is true. Things will happen. But the consistency of being successful means that you have an idea, a vision, a dream, a plan, a direction. You have somewhere you're going, something that you want to create in the world. And by having that, you're creating that tension that draws you toward that. And being in that tension is success. So accept that. And when something about that doesn't show up just the way you thought it should, be unchanged with your intention to go forward with that. That's the work. That's the thing that you're looking for, is that constancy of purpose, that constancy of direction. And I believe that that is absolutely success. So we're talking about money. I remember when I was a kid, my father was he worked with jukeboxes. Remember jukeboxes? When you put the quarter in and it would play, or actually I remember it being even a nickel when I was a kid. But then it would play a song. The machine would play it right on a 45 disc. And that was what he did, was he serviced those machines, he collected the money off. And what happened with his collections often was that he would get Canadian quarters. Because they were about the same size, and there wasn't high technology at the time. So you put a Canadian quarter, but a Canadian quarter was worth a fraction of a U.S. Money. In fact, as I recall, he would tell me that a Canadian dollar was worth a quarter at the time. There was that much of a disparity. Now, back in 2004, a Canadian dollar or an American dollar was the same, was worth 1.5 Canadian dollars. Now I got it backwards. The Canadian dollar was worth 1.5 US dollars, so that the Canadian dollar was worth more. Now apparently that's moved again. It's about, a Canadian dollar is worth about 75 cents in the United States right now. But the idea is that you put that in the machine and hear songs for a fraction of what it would cost if you had to put a quarter in. So things change. These markets, these money markets change all the time. Nothing's solid. It's all plastic. It's all moving. It's all changing. And in the same way it does that in the currency markets is the way it does it in your life. You set the value. And you determine what it is that's going to come flowing into your life. Now most people don't think they have that kind of control. They wish they did. They hope that they could have it. They'd really like to have it. They want it. No. You have the ability to set your intention to have a certain amount of dynamic flow in your life. I truly don't think it's healthy to have a ton of money sitting in the bank. I think it's more value when we move it, when we do things with it, when we have it work for us, whatever, however that works. But the idea is that by focusing on increasing your net worth will go up. It will. Worrying about it, you'll end up with money in a falling stock market or a property decreasing value or whatever it is. So don't go there. We're going to talk about how not to go there here in a few minutes. But the idea is that you're in the driver's seat with this. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is making your money do anything but you. It's how you think. And please, we may have some people in here with kids. I hope that parents will stop telling their children that you can't afford it. God, parents use that ad nauseum. It's not true. Tell your child you're not going to buy that. Give them something else to think about around that, but say, I'm choosing not to do that. It's not about I can't afford it, because you're teaching them that you're poor. Do you really want your children to think you're poor? How does that help? Because then they are children of poor people. That will not help them in their lives. The truth is they are the children of prosperous parents who can choose what they do and what they spend their money on and have the ability to control what's coming into their lives and what's going out. That's all part of the same deal. So the job with money is the idea of money. And we struggle with it. And we do some interesting things, like we wad it up. Lack of respect for that symbol of money. I see it all the time in the baskets here. I get those baskets come back up, and I look down on that top one, and there's something wadded right there. Barbara's teacher in Florida used to say to everyone at the church in Fort Lauderdale, if you want to put $5 in the offering plate, please go down to Unity. They want you there. Now that sounds like an insult, but it's truly to call to the attention that if you're going to play here, play real. Don't be someone who's living that impoverished thing. I know that the story of the widow's mite in the Bible is this lovely story about this woman that had hardly nothing, and she put her money in the basket at the synagogue. And Jesus praised her for that. And frankly, I wish he'd said a little more, like, this woman has prosperity in her life, because from that place of not having, she will prosper. But that's not the way the story goes. The idea is that we act in our lives from a place of having not just enough, but more than enough. More than enough to create the life that we desire. Sometimes that's a little hard, because the money thing plays mind games on us. We think that somehow that it can't happen, or we just don't know how it's going to happen, and we're willing to resolve that that's where we're going to stay, is that place of not having enough. But the truth is that we can always have more than we think we can. We can accomplish greater things than we thought we could. It's really us setting the bar. So we have to move beyond this idea of not enough. We have to move beyond the idea that we can't, because we can, without exception. Completely, absolutely we can. How many of us know how much money we have in the bank right now? Okay, we got a few hands, and we got a few that didn't. Which actually could go two ways. It could be, I have so much money in the bank I can't keep up with it. Or it could be that I really don't look at that. And I think not knowing how much money, generally, not to the penny, but generally how much money is in each of your accounts, and even your investment accounts, is something you should know. You should just know. Not that you're going to share that with many people in the world, but there's a sense of knowing, because that's a marker that tells you how you're progressing in your progress. If you are just barely making it and it's freaking you out that you don't seem to have enough money to meet your bills, ignoring that will not help you. Now, Holmes said turn away from the condition, and that's true. But still, you know what the condition is. You just don't empower it by worrying about it and fearing it and being upset about it. That won't help you. That won't help anybody. But knowing what your balances are might be a good thing. So I would ask you over the next 6 weeks to look at that, to the next, up until the 6th Monday that we're here from now. Know what your balance is, roughly, so that you can say it. And I will ask you probably in a couple of weeks, who knows what their balance is. We'll see who raises their hand and knows. And do you know how much debt you have? It's important to know that, because you're going to pay it off. If you don't know what it is, how are you going to pay it off? Obviously you're not by paying minimum payments on your credit cards. I heard on the radio this week that the average credit card produces $1,200 in interest for the credit card company every year. The average card produces that's $100 a month on that card if you have an ongoing balance. You don't want to work on that. You can do it. You can set your intention and get those things settled out. And be where Barbara and I are, and there will be no showing of hands here because no one's getting embarrassed here. But what Barbara and I do is we pay off all of our credit cards balances every month. We use credit cards. They're fine. They're actually quite convenient. But we will not put anything on there that we don't intend to pay when that bill comes in. And we have excellent credit. Even though you're not making money for the credit card companies, the credit rating services say that's good, and they like it. So you get very high numbers. And if you don't, you at least find a way to pay those things down. It's quite amazing, even paying a little extra helps lower those balances. Holmes writes, let's look at page 11 here and see what seemed really important to me. Oh, this is the one Barbara likes. This is good. Yeah, this is a good one. Holmes writes, money is freedom to do what you want to do, to go where you want to go, to be what you want to be. There is nothing bad in money. For who can see wrong in a symbol of service, which is great impersonal force, inspiring faith, and convertible into other forms which the possessor can creatively mold into whatsoever he wills. He will. He wills. That's how it says. So, this thing about money. Those of you that had a little reaction when I stuck the coin in my mouth. Hold on. Do we know what this is? Yeah, let me turn it this way so you can see. That's for people who have same issues. This is a federal currency. It's a Federal Reserve note. It's valued at $100. What's $100? It's exactly what Holmes tells us when he goes through all these things that money is. He comes to the conclusion, money's nothing. It's a piece of paper. It's a pretty piece of paper.
I like how he says it's fake.
Do you know who owns this? Yeah, the government owns it. Federal crime. Recorded. That was a pretty one. Oh, Barbara, this is the one I was going to give to you. How you feeling? How can I do that? First of all, I know that the government can't afford to send someone out here to arrest me today. I can do that because I know I can create unlimited numbers of those in my life. I'm not afraid of money. I can create as many of those as I like. And when I get them, I'm delighted. And when I send them out in the world some other way, I'm delighted. I love to be in the flow. But I'm not afraid of the money. I can do that. I can make lots and lots of those. And I intend to make lots and lots and lots of those in the remainder of my life. So one being gone, I say bye-bye. And I'm okay. I'm unchanged because I no longer have that $100. Most of the people in the world could not do that. I remember Barbara and I went to an event that I was a part of an international organization who actually came to Highlands, North Carolina for one of their annual meetings. And we went out there and we actually had a breakout group that did that, where we all burned some currency. And the people got so excited, understanding how liberating it was, that we brought it to the bigger group. And the group was probably about this size. And we were outside in a tent at this hotel in Highlands, and we burnt a bill. I don't remember whether it was a 20, 50, or 100, but it was a real bill. One woman came unglued. How many people could you have fed with that? How much you could have saved in the world with that? It was like, that was the only $100 bill in the world. And she couldn't get that we can keep making those over and over and over again. The government keeps making them, but we can keep finding them flow in and out of our lives. And it's fine, it doesn't change who we are. But by doing that exercise, and if you had any kind of resistance to it, look at that in your life. And I'm not telling you go burn your money. I'm telling you that that's something to look at. that you are looking at it from a limitation point of view rather than from an unlimited point of view. And that's where we need to be. We need to know that we can create as many of these as we want, as much money as we choose. And that it will grow exponentially if we're paying attention and we're applying the right ideas around it. Then money will grow without exception. It will grow. Holmes says that money is a symbol of service. And Edwin Gaines confirms that by telling us all that getting $1 million is not hard at all. Quite easy, in fact. All you have to do is provide $1 million worth of service, and you'll have $1 million. It's really, I mean, that's oversimplified, but it makes the point, is that what are you willing to bring to the world, where the world will reward you with that flow, that dynamic flow. And it's not, success is not just money. That's just one element of it. You know, success is admiration, connection, all kinds of things that have to do with that idea of success. Power, really, and not power over, but power within you. That's all part of success. Confidence, part of success. And you don't wait till you're successful to have those things. You got to have them as you're on this road of success. So whatever is going on in your life, however you're bringing yourself to the world, there's work to do. There's something more to do. And it's yours to find out and figure out. So that's what we're going to talk about for these tonight and the next 5 weeks, next 5 Monday nights. Are there any questions at this point? Anything stirring in you want to say out loud?
Honestly, I'm just glad you didn't eat it.
Did you think I was going to eat the quarter? Yeah. There's a clever ad right now by Allstate. You know, always putting the fear of God in people, where the guy that plays the mayhem eats the ring at the wedding. I love that. I love that. You know, we can play those fear games all we want, and we'll get the result of it. Or we can know that life is working perfectly no matter what. And accept that for ourselves, and something extraordinary will happen.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your class today. This was a great opportunity to remember how increased income works, how our prosperity is based in our consciousness, and about all the elements of that we could fit into this time together. So as we end the class, let's do our increased income treatment together. And I'll lead us right here and right now. So I'm going to close my eyes, and here we go. I, John, know that God is the source of all supply, and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I am so rich and so full that I have an abundance of money to spare and to share today and always. I know that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. This word, which I speak in faith knowing, now activates universal law, and I accept the results. I bless all that I have now, and I bless the increase. I bless all the others in the increased income program of our class, and I know that we now prosper together in every way. I give thanks for this good, and so it is. Yes. So do that every day. Do it many times every day, and see what happens. And when it happens, let us know. And I'm so grateful to have you aboard on this, and have a fantastic week.